She wakes up every morning with a sense of purpose, not because someone else defines her life, but because she does. She walks through the world with her head held high, not seeking approval, not waiting for love to find her, but creating a love story with herself. She is not lonely. She is not incomplete. She is not missing anything, because she understands something most people take a lifetime to learn. Happiness is an inside job. People ask her, don't you feel alone? She smiles because they don't understand the kind of freedom she has. The freedom to wake up and choose herself every single day. The freedom to dream without limits. The freedom to be at peace with her own company. She is not a woman who waits. She does not wait for someone to text her back. She does not wait for a date to make her feel beautiful. She does not wait for love to give her a sense of purpose. She is already whole. She is already complete, and that is her power. They say life is meant to be shared, but she knows life is meant to be lived. She doesn't need a romantic partner to define her worth. She fills her days with adventure, passion, and growth. She is the kind of woman who reads books late into the night, travels alone without fear, and walks into restaurants with confidence, knowing she belongs anywhere she chooses to be. She has faced judgment. They whisper about her, wondering why she hasn't settled down, why she walks alone, why she seems so content. But she does not live to satisfy expectations. She does not owe anyone an explanation. She lives by her own rules, follows her own heart, and listens to the voice inside her that says, "You are enough." She has loved before, but she refuses to settle for anything less than extraordinary. She would rather walk alone in her power than shrink herself to fit into a relationship that doesn't honor her soul. And that's what makes her unstoppable. She is not waiting for a hero. She is the hero of her own story. She is the woman who doesn't need to be rescued because she built the life she always dreamed of. She is proof that being alone is not a weakness. It is a strength. It is a choice. It is a revolution. And to every woman who has ever felt pressured to settle, to conform, to be something she is not, know this: you are not defined by your relationship status. You are defined by the life you create, the love you give to yourself, and the fire inside you that refuses to be dimmed. So walk boldly, live unapologetically, love yourself fiercely, because the world needs more women who aren't afraid to stand alone and shine. Living alone isn't a sign of loneliness. It's a declaration of strength. It's a conscious choice to stand firm in independence, to embrace solitude, not as an emptiness, but as a space of power and growth. There is something extraordinary about a person who wakes up every day knowing that their happiness, their peace, and their success depends solely on them. It's not about shutting people out. It's about knowing that one's life is not defined by the presence or absence of others. In a world that often equates solitude with sadness, choosing to live alone becomes an act of quiet defiance. It is proof that a person can build a life filled with joy, adventure, and meaning without relying on someone else to provide it. There is freedom in coming home to a space that is entirely one's own, where every decision, every moment of stillness, every burst of laughter belongs to the person who created it. There is an undeniable power in knowing that self-sufficiency is not a burden, but a gift. It means having the ability to handle challenges with resilience, to make decisions without hesitation, and to walk through life with a sense of confidence that is unshaken by the opinions of others. The person who chooses to live alone understands that solitude is not about isolation. It is about self-discovery. It is in those quiet moments that one learns the depth of their own strength, the clarity of their own thoughts, and the beauty of their own company. Every choice, from the simplest daily routine to the biggest life decisions, is made without external influence. without the need for compromise, and without fear of judgment. There is something liberating about knowing that the only validation required is the one that comes from within. This kind of independence fosters a deep sense of self-awareness, a realization that one's worth is not measured by relationships or societal expectations, but by the life they build for themselves. The world often tells people that happiness is found in companionship, in partnerships, in external connections, but there is a different kind of happiness, one that comes from being at peace with oneself. The kind that doesn't waver when alone in a cafe, when traveling to a new city, or when spending nights wrapped in one's own thoughts. It is a happiness that comes from within, unshaken, unwavering, and completely self-sustained. Loving oneself is not just an idea, it is a way of life. It is waking up every morning and choosing to honor one's own heart, mind, and soul before seeking validation from the world. It is understanding that self-worth does not come from another person's attention, approval, or affection, but from the way one treats themselves when no one else is watching. There is a quiet confidence in a person who truly loves themselves. They do not beg for love, chase after affection, or settle for less than they deserve. They know that their value is not tied to whether someone texts them back, asks them out, or declares their devotion. Their worth is already established, and it is not up for negotiation. They do not need a partner to complete them because they are already whole. Self-love is not arrogance. It is knowing when to walk away from situations that do not serve one's highest good. It is setting boundaries, protecting one's energy, and refusing to shrink for the comfort of others. It is looking in the mirror and seeing strength, resilience, and beauty, not because someone else has said so, but because they have chosen to believe it for themselves. It is about taking the time to nurture dreams, pursue passions, and invest in growth without feeling the pressure to prioritize someone else's expectations. It is traveling alone and savoring the journey, dining alone and enjoying the meal, making decisions without hesitation because there is no need to seek approval. A person who loves themselves does not wait for someone to bring them flowers. They plant their own garden. The world often teaches people to seek love outside of themselves, to believe that happiness comes from being chosen, desired, or adored by another. But the truth is, the greatest love story is the one a person writes with themselves. It is the unwavering commitment to becoming the best version of oneself, to treating oneself with kindness, and to never settling for anything less than the respect and love that is already given from within. Growth is a journey that flourishes in the space of solitude, without distractions, without the need to constantly accommodate another person's needs. There is room to focus entirely on personal evolution. It is in these moments of independence that true potential is uncovered, not influenced by external expectations, but shaped by internal ambition. There is something powerful about being able to set goals without compromise, to chase dreams without hesitation, and to build a life on one's own terms. It is a life where every choice is intentional, every step forward is taken with purpose, and every achievement is a testament to self-discipline and perseverance. Growth does not happen in comfort. And choosing to walk alone means embracing the discomfort of challenges, failures, and lessons without relying on anyone else to provide strength. Time spent alone is not time wasted. It is an investment in becoming the best version of oneself. It is waking up early to work on personal goals, staying up late to learn new skills, and using solitude as a space for deep reflection. In this space, ideas are born, confidence is strengthened, and resilience is built. Without the constant pull of relationships, emotions are no longer dictated by someone else's actions or approval. There is freedom in knowing that happiness is not dependent on another person's presence, but on one's own ability to create joy, meaning, and purpose. Growth means stepping out of the familiar and into the unknown with the confidence that everything needed already exists within. Every day becomes an opportunity to evolve, to read more, learn more, experience more, and become more. There is no pressure to fit into a mold, to compromise dreams, or to wait for someone else's timeline. There is only the limitless potential of an individual who is fully in control of their own destiny, unafraid to embrace growth in its purest, most independent form. Society has long dictated that a woman's life is incomplete without a partner, that she must seek love to find fulfillment, that her worth is measured by her relationship status. But there are those who refuse to conform, who rewrite the rules, who stand as proof that happiness is not found in another person, but in the life they create for themselves. She does not live by the expectations placed upon her. She does not shrink herself to fit into traditions that do not serve her. She does not allow outdated beliefs to dictate her path. She walks alone, not because she has to, but because she chooses to. She is not waiting for marriage to feel secure, for a relationship to feel valued, or for companionship to feel whole. She is already all of those things on her own. There is power in defying the norm, in being a woman who does not measure success by love stories, but by the story she is writing for herself. Society teaches dependence, but she has learned self-sufficiency. The world expects her to settle, but she has learned self-sufficiency. The world expects her to settle, but she has learned self-sufficiency. The world expects her to settle, but she has learned self-sufficiency. The world expects her to settle, but she has learned self-sufficiency. The world expects her to settle, but she has learned self-sufficiency. The world expects her to fly, but she has learned to fly. While others believe a relationship is a necessity, she sees it as an option, one she is in no rush to choose. People wonder how she does it, why she is not in a hurry, why she does not seem to be searching for someone to complete her. But they do not realize that she already has everything she needs. She has purpose. She has ambition. She has a deep love for herself that cannot be shaken by loneliness, judgment, or pressure. Every day, she proves that a woman does not need a partner to be strong, successful, or happy. She proves that life does not have to follow a script written by others. She proves that fulfillment comes from within, from living authentically, and from daring to be different in a world that tries to make her the same. Strength is not always loud. It is not always about standing in a crowd or proving a point. Sometimes strength is quiet. It is found in the way a woman carries herself when no one is watching, in the way she faces challenges without seeking a hand to hold, in the way she chooses herself over and over again. She has faced storms alone. She has walked through fire without a shoulder to lean on. She has picked herself up after every fall, wiped her own tears, and kept moving forward when the world told her she couldn't. She knows what it means to struggle, but she also knows what it means to survive. There is nothing more powerful than a woman who has learned to rely on herself, who knows that she is her own savior, her own protector, her own source of strength. People assume that being alone means being weak, but she knows it is the opposite. It takes courage to stand on one's own. It takes resilience to build a life without leaning on someone else. When love gives us all of it, sets us on the right path without leaning on someone else. It takes an unshakable belief in oneself to know that even in the hardest moments, she will be okay. She has learned to trust herself, to face uncertainty without fear, to embrace the unknown with open arms. There are days when the weight of the world feels heavy, when silence echoes a little louder, when the path ahead seems unclear, but she never allows doubt to win. She has taught herself that no matter what comes her way, she has the strength to face it. She has proven to herself time and time again that she is capable, that she is enough, that she does not need saving because she has already saved herself. This strength is not just about surviving, it is about thriving. It is about living fully, dreaming boldly, and knowing that she has the power to create a life she loves entirely on her own terms. Every challenge she overcomes, every step she takes forward, every time she chooses to keep going despite the odds, she becomes even stronger. She does not live for the approval of others. She does not seek permission to be who she is. She does not apologize for the way she chooses to exist in the world. She walks with a quiet confidence, knowing that her life is her own, that her choices do not require justification, that she owes no one an explanation for the way she lives. People ask why she is alone, why she does not chase love, why she does not follow the path so many others take, but she does not answer to them. She does not live by their timelines, their traditions, their beliefs about what happiness should look like. She does not bend herself to fit expectations that were never hers to begin with. She has found freedom in choosing herself, in listening to her own voice, in writing her own story. She is not concerned with what others think of her choices. She is too busy living, too busy growing, too busy creating a life that feels right for her. She does not waste energy on explaining herself to those who will never understand. She does not lower her standards to make others comfortable. She does not say yes when she means no. She has learned that the only person she ever needs to impress is herself. There is a certain power in living unapologetically. It is waking up every day and making choices that align with one's soul, without hesitation, without guilt. It is knowing that she is not missing out on anything because she has chosen exactly the life she wants. It is refusing to settle for a relationship just because the world tells her she should. It is standing firm in her independence, owning her decisions, and never feeling the need to justify the way she chooses to live. She is not here to fit a mold. She is not here to meet expectations. She is not here to live for anyone but herself. And that is what makes her unstoppable. Happiness is not something she waits for. It is something she creates. She does not rely on someone else to bring her joy, to make her feel wanted, to give her a sense of purpose. She has discovered that true happiness does not come from a relationship, from attention, or from validation. It comes from within. It comes from the way she wakes up every morning with gratitude, from the way she pours energy into her passions, from the way she finds beauty in the smallest moments of life. She does not believe in the idea that love is the key to happiness. She knows that happiness is the key to everything. And she has found it in the simplest things, in the peace of a quiet morning, in the excitement of chasing her dreams, in the confidence that she is building a life she loves. She is not searching for someone to complete her because she is already whole. She does not wait for someone to give her love because she gives it to herself every single day. There is joy in her independence, in the ability to do what she loves without compromise. She does not need permission to follow her heart, to explore the world, to embrace adventure. She does not feel the pressure to settle down, to rush into something just to avoid being alone. She is not afraid of solitude because she has turned it into her greatest gift. She laughs without hesitation, dances without care, lives without limits. Her happiness is not fragile, not dependent on anyone else's presence or approval. It is rooted in her own sense of self, in the way she honors her soul, in the way she chooses to see the world. While others search for happiness outside of themselves, she has found it right where it has always been, within her. She does not live her life to prove anything to anyone, yet her very existence becomes a quiet revolution. Without trying, without forcing, without seeking attention, she inspires. She is living proof that a woman does not need a relationship to be fulfilled, that she does not need a partner to be strong, that she does not need to conform to be happy. Her life speaks louder than words, showing others that solitude is not emptiness, it is power, it is choice. It is freedom. People watch her and wonder how she does it, how she carries herself with such confidence, how she walks into rooms alone without hesitation, how she radiates joy without depending on someone else to provide it. They ask her if she ever feels lonely, if she ever wishes for a different kind of life, if she ever longs for something more. But what they do not realize is that she already has everything she needs. She has built a life so rich, so full, so deeply satisfying that she does not spend her time longing, she spends it living. She is not waiting for a partner to make her feel secure. She is not hoping for love to validate her worth. She is not searching for something outside of herself to give her purpose. Instead, she wakes up every day and creates the life she wants on her terms, in her way. And in doing so, she shows others that they too have that power. She inspires not because she tries to, but because she refuses to settle for anything less than what she deserves. She moves through the world with a quiet defiance, a bold self-assurance, an unshakable belief that she is enough. And in that belief, she gives others permission to believe the same about themselves. Her life is a reminder that fulfillment does not come from following the rules set by others. It comes from writing your own. She is not defined by her relationship status. She is not waiting for love to complete her. She is not searching for someone to validate her existence. She is whole, she is strong, and she is enough exactly as she is. Her life is a statement, a quiet rebellion against the belief that a woman must be attached to be fulfilled. She walks her own path, guided by her dreams, fueled by her passion, and strengthened by her solitude. She has built a life that is not missing anything, a life rich in purpose, adventure, and self-love. To those who wonder if she is lonely, if she regrets choosing herself, if she will ever change, she simply smiles because she knows the truth. She is not alone. She is free. And that is the greatest love story of all.